Welcome to the 85th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome back, friends. And for those of you watching us for the first time, we're so glad you could join us. Today we take you on an adventure to Collingwood, Ontario. Can't wait to talk to you about that. But before we begin, Colleen will talk about what we're wearing.
Now, we are actually wearing the same pattern. But for May's, I used one of the balls of the yarn. And for myself, I used two. So it is Sirdar Snuggly Baby Bamboo.
And it's perfect for a day like today because it's pretty warm out. And
exactly.
I'm glad that you didn't bundle us up in a big turtleneck.
Exactly. So it's 80% bamboo and 20% wool. And the pattern is the Honey Cowl by Anne Maria. And so I just did it as a single cowl. You can make it longer so that it would double wrap. But as you mentioned, that would be too much for right now. Mm-hmm. And so it was great when we picked it up. May said, I don't want anything too big. I said, okay, one for you, two for me, and then here we go.
And it worked out.
It looks great on you.
Thank you. And you've got your color purple.
Exactly. All right. So that's what we're wearing. And next we're going to talk about finished objects. My first finished object is a shawl, and it's the Multnomah by Kate Ray of Hello Knitty. Love this pattern. I've made it before, and it actually is a good representation of what happens when you change the yarn. So what I did the first time I used this is I made this. So this was some yarn that we bought in Ireland. The colors are the Irish Hills, so that's what that is. So there's one that's like a variegated yarn.
That's nice.
It looks really nice. I really, really like it.
It's nice and light.
Exactly.
That would have been nice for today too. It's
absolutely.
So light, yeah.
So that's what I knit before. Now, this time I used Fino. And these skeins, it's by Manos Uruguay, have 490 yards on them. So it's a bigger skein. And it is 70% merino and 30% silk. So it has a lot of different drape. And I love this. It's tonal. They've got some really pretty colors in this. It's nice and soft.
It feels similar. Just a little lighter, similar. Maybe?
Right, exactly. But what I like about it is having one color. We always say it would be great with the jean jacket. But I really, really like it. The lace opened up, and so I'm really, really happy with that.
Yes, it makes a difference, like doing it in two different colors. You can really notice it doesn't even look like the same scarf almost.
Exactly. So there's tonal, there's variegated, there's solids, there's semi-solids, there's striped yarns. There's so many yarns, so there's lots of things that we can do. So that's my first finished object. Now, my next finished object is something that I was trying to get done. So I'm going to let May hold that up. Throwing things around. So the yarn that I used for this is the Catona. It's by Scheepjes, and it's cotton.
Now it came in the kit, the yarn?
It came in the kit. So let me show. Thank you for reminding me.
Yep.
There is our kit. So in the kit, you've got the yarn, the crochet hook, the stuffing, the pattern booklet, an embroidery needle, necessary accessories, all kinds of good stuff.
Now, can I just see that?
Yes.
If it says the Meadow of the Cow?
Yes.
If it didn't say that, I would never have guessed it was a cow. I'm just saying. But it's cute, but
I know. I
really
think it's supposed
like
to be colors for kids. I think.
Okay.
I believe.
They've got, like I said, other ones on the back that are fox that looks like a fox, and a frog looks like a frog, and a lamb that looks like a lamb, but the cow doesn't look like a cow. But it turned out nice. It'll be
I'm
nice.
really, really happy with that. So there it is. So it just, with a little bit of help, will sit, and there it is. So I find that I love the finished project of Amigurumi, which is what this is. So it's crocheting, it's really fine. Sometimes you get to think, oh, I have to do another leg, oh my goodness. But I'm really, really happy with this.
How it turns out.
Exactly.
Now, how do you like the process? Like, I know you like the finished product, but
right.
During the whole process, do you find it painful? Does it take you a long time to complete it? Do you do it?
You know what? To be honest with you, I have not done as much work with crochet, but the patterns are so nicely written that it's really easy to do what you need to do. It's step by step. You have to stuff it if the stuffing comes with it. There's nothing that you have to go try and figure out what else to do. So
it's very cute.
I'm really liking
it. It would look great with a little blanket or something, a little pink blanket or something like that. Very cute. Good.
So
add that to our little bucket of things.
All right, just took a nosedive, so move them over here. So that's that one. Then, okay, knitting, crochet. Now we're going to talk about embroidery. So you did see this, but it's all done.
Oh, nice.
So there it is. Now, I did try to press it, and then I tried to steam it. And it's funny, there's some, I didn't know where I was getting these little marks on it. So there were dark marks, got rid of those, and now there's a few little light pinky spots. I don't know where those came from. So you can't really see them. The embroidery was a lot of fun.
Are you learning some things?
Yes, absolutely. So this was a great one because it had all different kinds of stitches in it. It was at Lens Mills. So in Ontario, if you've got a Lens Mills, it was $4.99.
Oh, that's cute.
Exactly. So we've got something that we can hang up in the kitchen, or we can...
And you have to know this is so Colleen. Today I'll be happier bird with the French fry. That is just so you.
Exactly.
because you
I'm the
love
bird with the French fry.
You love French fries.
All the time.
Yeah.
That's right. So I'm really enjoying the embroidery process.
Really?
I really
Are
like
you surprised that you were?
The last time I did embroidery, we will not count the number of years, I was in grade 7, and we had to do embroidery, and we did some work, and then we made like a market bag out of it.
Right.
Which was great. But I enjoyed it. I liked having the end product. I remember our teacher saying, "Why are you girls running up the stairs like a bunch of elephants?" So I remember that with embroidery sometimes. So anyway, but I really do, I enjoy crafting. So it was fun to do that.
That's neat.
All right, so that's my first one. Now the second one that I did, once again, embroidery, I don't have because I gave it to my mom, but I know that there's a picture. Here is, I'll just show this quickly. So there is what the pattern was. I ordered some from Amazon. They arrived. I think you could get 3 different kits, and it wasn't very expensive. And so I gave it to my mom for Mother's Day.
That's really nice. And while we're speaking of embroidery, you did do another one that you probably don't remember.
Yeah.
But we bought these little rings at the craft store, and
Right.
Colleen embroidered a little flower for my miniatures. So that would go great in a living room.
Exactly. That was
That's
the
a great
thought.
idea.
Yeah. So it was
Hang up.
fun.
Yeah. So you could do other little tiny things for my miniature.
Exactly.
I really appreciate
exactly.
you supporting me in those miniatures.
No problem at all.
That
All
can work your
right, so
embroidery.
that's my embroidery. Now, the last thing I did,
There's more?
there's more. Last one from me anyway. Oh no, not last one for you. So this is the Lemme Cowl by Laura Nelkin. Now, I ordered a kit from her because she had 20% off, and I ordered it. And what I decided to do, this came with a full skein, and the cowl that you see in the picture is just half of the skein. So what I did was I made it double.
Oh.
So I'm really happy with this because it appears the thing is purple right now. Actually,
As long as
today's a
it's
lot of
purple, you
purple.
don't care.
Exactly. So the nice thing is there's these little bit of beads just at the top, and I'm really, really happy with it.
So what does it look like on when you double it up? Have you had it on doubled up? Does it look okay?
Yes, it looks great.
It's very nice and fine. So doubling this wouldn't
Exactly.
be too bad.
And this is a yarn that was a little, it's Madelinetosh Twist Light.
It's very nice, very light.
I'm really, really happy
Yeah.
with it. And this is one of those ones blocking. I know I talk about blocking now all the time. It's like my new best friend here. But the good thing is it opens it up and it softens the yarn.
It's
So
nice. Now, did you, the beads come with this, or?
the beads came in the kit.
Because it's a perfect match.
It is a perfect
Nice.
match.
Very
Exactly.
nice. You have
So
been busy.
those are my finished objects. So May, how about you? Finished objects
Yes.
for you.
What has been happening, Colleen, is that we're having a miniature sale at our miniature club.
Right.
I showed some video of our club, just the actual space last
Right,
time in
right.
our little video.
Yeah.
And this space is going to be this little selling. I guess it's my first show,
Okay.
and that would be June the 4th
Right.
at our club.
Okay.
So I've been busy trying to make things, and you've been very good and very supportive. So you've
Right.
been helping with that. So as you know, I've made a few couches,
Right.
and Colleen supported me in the fact that she's made these little pillows, which is very nice of you to do that. I
There
like
we go.
that. And there's little Afghan things that you've made for the top too. that I
Right,
don't have
absolutely.
with me.
It's nice. It's amazing that May's out there with her power tools doing what she needs to do, and then I do a little bit of knitting or crocheting or sewing, and then you put it all together, and
And
it's
I
like
know.
it's real.
I know. Voila.
Exactly.
And again, I've made the beds, and then you've helped make the bedding, which was
Exactly.
very good of you to do that too. That's
Exactly.
very supportive.
You know, it's really fun because you're busy sewing or you're busy, in this case, crocheting, and you think, okay, well, it's all right, we'll see.
Right.
And then you put it
It's
all together on the bed.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, like it looks like something
know.
that's real. So it's going to be
So
neat.
that has been cool. So I really appreciate
Right.
that. So then I needed to make, I used to have some fireplaces that I made. Maybe you can remember them from a previous podcast.
Right.
And what I did was I had these pieces of wood that I
Right.
got at an auction that you and I went to Stratford.
Stratford?
Auction. Yes, I don't know if it's Strathroy or Stratford, but it
You
was
were right.
Stratford. And we went to an auction, so I used those pieces of wood for these fireplaces. So
Right.
I did about 5 or 6, maybe even more of these.
Right.
Because I'd run out. But I've run out of these things.
Okay.
So then I thought, well, be creative. I have the right size because it's a 1 to 12 scale.
Right.
So then I had some, I call it scrap wood, but I'm going to stop calling it scrap wood because it's really not scrap wood. It's my wood stash, as
She
somebody
has
would
a
call
stash. I think we should get something out in the garage. May's stash.
Yes.
There you go. We'll
And
make a
it's-
sign. I could embroider you a sign.
That would be good. I could maybe do one out of woodwork.
Oh, that probably would be better.
Yes. So, when they call it scrap wood, it's little, like the little pieces and miniatures is like gold.
Right.
For example, here's a fireplace. I did a smaller fireplace, and I use, I don't know if you can see in there, some of that wood that's spindly.
It almost looks like a rope wood. Yeah.
Like a rope. Now, that would be what I would consider scrap, but it isn't. It's just my stash. And I
Right.
didn't have a lot of it.
Right.
So these little pieces can go into something
so
like the
cute.
fireplace.
Yeah,
right.
it's really
so
cute.
I had this spirally stuff that I found, which is
Right.
very expensive, by the way. Like when you buy little pieces of wood like
Oh,
that, it's
wow.
really expensive. So calling it scrap doesn't seem appropriate.
No. Stash.
Stash it is. And here, I don't know if you can see that. This is another piece of wood that had some lines that through it.
Right.
So that would be an expensive piece of wood too, all these
Okay.
little pieces. But I
Right.
had all these little pieces.
Right.
And it's really kind of put them to a good use. And again, there's some little
Gosh,
pieces
You're so good at this.
with the lines through it.
Exactly.
And I was able to use those up. And I did with the spiral, I had a
Oh
few
my
pieces
gosh,
left.
that's beautiful too.
Now I have no spiral wood left, but I don't know where else I would have used it. So
Right.
this was a kind
It
of a
worked
good
really
use
well.
use of that.
It
So,
works really
so
well.
that's what I've been busy doing with my finished objects, and I've got a
Perfect.
lot more to do because of the show on June the 4th. So I've kind of buried myself in,
All right.
in the garage.
Now I'll have to go check my list. I said to May, okay, I sat her down and said, give me a list. If what you need me to sew, what you need me to knit, what you need me to crochet, give me a list. And so I'm pretty well through that.
You
maybe.
are. You've done
Yeah.
some bedding. You've done pillows. You've crocheted for the back of the couch.
Yeah.
You've done these little things for the bottom of the bed. Just kind of layers it up that little bit, gives it a little
Exactly.
bit of depth
Yeah.
to it. And yeah, so I'm happy with all you've done and
Oh, good.
your support. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And I'm busy now. I have to make some kitchen-y things. I have to make some
Right.
kitchen chairs. I have to make some tables to go with the couches and the
Right.
things that I've made. And then we'll see how the show goes. I'm hoping to have a display next, maybe hopefully a video next week.
Oh, that's a great idea because I've been watching your display working
Right.
on it and it's so good.
Right. And we had gone to a show previously, and that was kind of my first miniature show, and I really appreciated the tables that had some height.
Right.
Because bending over to look at things
Right.
was okay, but after seeing the ones with some height,
Right.
I realized that my booth's going to have
Okay,
some height.
perfect.
So I
All
learned
right.
from that, and
Yes.
if you learn one little thing from everything, hey, it's all
There
good.
you go. Very good.
So we've been busy,
We have.
and that's my finished objects.
All right. So next we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress is some more embroidery. So I decided I would make something for May's mom. So we don't know if she's watching. If she is, hello. And if not, surprise. So it's just going to be a nice present for her. And this is called Garden Fresh by Leisure Arts. And I did get this at Michael's. It wasn't very expensive. And when it's at Michael's, it's a craft store near us. They have lots of 30% off coupons, so I was able to get 30% off. The reason why I got this is that I was having difficulty making French knots, which if you've done embroidery, you may say difficulty, but I just wasn't getting it. So what I needed to do, practice, and this has French knots all over the place. So it made me practice a bunch, so I'm a lot more comfortable.
That's where you and I are very different.
Yes.
If there's something that I can't do, I just say, I'll never do that again. You want to master it, do it,
I know.
practice it. Like I
know.
never would have done that. To think,
Yes,
if
I
I can't
know.
do that, but it turned out nice. I'm
really happy with it. So here it is. So I've done it and I've washed it and I've laid it flat. So now what I need to do is put it into the hoop that it came with and finish it all off nicely for your mom.
What do you mean by finishing it all off?
So what you do is put it, there's lots of ways to do it, but you put it into an embroidery hoop, cut off the excess fabric, and then I'm going to use a hot glue gun. You glue the fabric down so that the back is nice and tidy.
So you can't use that ring again?
To be honest with you, they're not very expensive. So the kit comes with a ring, and if it's not a great ring, then I would use that.
Then you just use that ring that it came
Exactly.
with. If it's not an expensive ring.
Exactly.
I love the texture. I don't know if you can see that in there, but the texture of all that is so awesome.
I know. I had a great time doing it. It was just different from the couple that I'd done. It was new stitches, and I'm really, really excited about it.
I'm so glad you're enjoying this.
I know, it's fun.
Yeah.
So the reason why I got involved, I'm a Patreon of the Bakery Bears. And they are doing for their Patreon people, they are doing some embroidery. They're calling it Stitchy You. It doesn't start till the beginning of July. You know me. I'm going to get a head start on this. So I did. So I thought, well, I'm going to try some because I've, as I said, not done it since I was in grade 7.
Right. And that's how you got involved in it?
That's exactly
That's
how I got
cool that
involved.
you watch a podcast and they talk about something and you so maybe we can inspire people with some of the things that we
That
do.
would be great.
Next thing you know, all the knitters out there are going to be doing miniatures.
I would think so. Little sweaters would get done quickly, that's for sure. All right, so that's my first work in progress. Just because all the embroidery part's done, but the finishing is not done. So I will show that to you next time. Yes, I'll still have it. It's not getting to May's mom for a little while. All right, so that's that. My second work in progress, it is the day of purple, I'm just saying. What
It
a
is
surprise.
purple.
Exactly. So this is the Grand Ridge, and that is from the Galt House of Yarn. And the yarn itself is Zen Yarn Garden, and it's called a Gradient Trio. It's 100% superfine, superwash merino, and it's lovely. Now, I have made another one of these, and I got it in the kind of tealy blues. And what happened to me is one of those blues it would have been fine, but I didn't like it together with the other. So I just made it just too big. So which is good, not too big, but two skeins big. So what happens in this case is there's 3, but I love how the colors go. It's going to be beautiful. So here it is. And I've already done the 1. So that's how much I've got left of the 1 color. I'm in color number 2. So I'll work that up. And then here's color number 3. And I really like how these ones blend together.
That is going to be a nice gradient.
It is. It is. I listen to her. Gradient. She knows gradient. Instead of pine and maple, she knows gradient. That's fantastic. Exactly.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm really, really happy with that.
That's
So
nice.
it'll be good. So,
Yes. And it's purple. You can't be
Exactly.
anything that's purple. You're good with that.
Yep. And what I'm trying to do, not entirely, but a lot, is I'm trying to go into stash and into old patterns that I've bought. Because when I started getting back into knitting, I would go, oh, there's a great pattern, click. Oh, there's a great pattern, click. Oh, there's a great pattern. And then I've got these patterns that I never have done. So I'm trying to go back. Now, then my next work in progress is exactly one of those. So this is the pattern that's called Pure Joy by Joji Locatelli. And I, to be honest with you, hadn't forgotten that I had it because it's all in my library on Ravelry. But I kind of had forgotten that I had it. I knew it was there, didn't think about it. So the yarn that I have is a set that I got from River City Yarns. And that is in Edmonton, Alberta. And it was one of the first, so this is probably 3 or 4 years ago, really good yarns that I purchased. And
Were you there when you purchased it?
no,
Or
it
you
was
had it
online.
delivered?
Online. It was great. So I think it's usually about the 20th of the month they will have something, and I really liked these colors and did it. What happened is it came, and the way that it worked out, there were 2 skeins. So at Ancient Art Yarns, it's their 80% merino, 20% nylon, 3-ply fingering sock. So the one color is this.
Just kind of neat.
It is
It's got
very
lots
neat.
of colors in that.
Exactly. 510 meters. So it's kind of a skein and a half. And the second one, that's called Spring Has Sprung. And the second one has 350 meters. And that is called Delphinium. So love the colors. But every time I would go to try and think of a shawl to do it, there wasn't enough of one. There was too much of the other. And I thought, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. Finally, I decided. So we're talking 4 years later. I decided I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do it.
You've had this yarn for 4 years.
I have, and this is what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to, as much as I can. Obviously, there's going to be things that I buy. We know that, but I'm trying to do a little bit more. Dive into stash. Go into my stash of patterns because I've got 2 stashes that way, and then I'm trying to do something now. Just like that embroidery was me trying to do French knots. This pattern of Pure Joy has all kinds of short rows in it.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly. So what you do is you don't go all the way across and then you come back. So there are ways of doing it with wrap and turns. You can do it with a German short row. I'm doing a German short row. Loving it. It's great. It's garter stitched. Now my cord is not as long as perhaps it could be. I think this is the best way to show it. So you can see that it's like in the pattern it's called wedges. So there's little bits of the purple and there's eyelets kind of thing. And then you make a wedge of the variegated color. Then you're going to do a stripe. I'm just about ready for another stripe of that. And it's great. Now at the end of it all, purple. So I'm liking this knit. I would knit this one again, actually, to be honest with you. I think when we talk about, like with the Multnomah, we talk about different colors making it different. I think if you had 2 plain colors, I think it would show up. There's enough purple in the variegated one that it doesn't show up exactly how I'd like, but the bottom's going to be purple, so it's going to be pretty.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's not something I think that you would normally pick with those colors, but it's turning out quite nicely, actually.
Exactly. I'm really what I did, because I have tried to think, I'll knit this with that. And I thought, no. I'll knit this pattern with that. No. And I thought, this is going to work because all the variegated stuff is at the top, and then there you can see that's going to be that band of purple.
That's going to be nice.
I think it's going to be really nice.
Really nice.
So those are my works in progress. And May, how about you? Works in progress.
As you know, we were talking before in regards to my little show on June the 4th.
Right.
And so I've been working on little tables and chairs to fill up my little display.
Okay.
So I bought this little chair at one of the my last little show that I went to.
Right.
My first show.
Yes, and first and last.
And I bought it to copy, actually, so that I could see. So I've started to, I did 4 of these. I started to cut out the back so far.
This lady is amazing. I'm just saying it.
Now I just have to figure out how to do the seat and the legs.
Well, let me know when you need the cushions for them.
And I might need to do the cushions.
Okay.
So I've got another one of these, 4 of these going.
Right.
And what you do is with that, I know it looks like a lot, but what I learned from the scroll sawing is you stack cut.
Okay.
And what you do is you get 4 pieces of wood about the same size.
Right.
And you tape it all together so it doesn't move.
Okay.
You tape it really quite well. Mm-hmm. You draw your pattern on top of the tape.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Then you cut out your pattern all at once, and then voila, you've got 4 pieces when you're done. So it looks like a lot, but it's only one chair being cut, really, and they call it stack cutting. And you can do that with a number of things.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So I just have to figure out how to do the seat and the legs. So we'll see how that works, and I can show you that next time if it works out.
Okay, sounds good.
These are some tables that did semi-work. This one here, I
looks
bought
great.
these legs.
What are you talking semi-work?
Well, this was an oval table to start with. And the oval was off. You know what I mean by that?
I know exactly
it
what you
wasn't
mean.
perfect. So I kept cutting. It's like cutting bangs. So I kept cutting, and then I think, well, that doesn't look right. Kept cutting. Now I'm down to a square table. It's kind of funny.
It looks cute, though.
But it ended up turning out okay.
Exactly.
But it wasn't
and you didn't
what
have
it
to
was
waste
intended.
the legs, because I know those legs are a little pricier.
Yeah, those legs are pricey.
Yeah.
So, and then so I made another little oval one, but I was very careful with the oval on that one.
Cute
so.
too. Very, very nice.
Yes, with those legs. So that's going to be one of my
Right.
little tables. I'm not sure if I'm going to do side table with those legs or not,
Okay.
because they are, like you say, expensive. So you'd have to charge for a little side table.
$952.
Yes, and 50 cents. And so because those legs are expensive, I thought I'd make some with just the square legs.
But those look really good too.
Yeah.
Like I really, really like them.
So those will go with my little couches and stuff like that. But I have to
perfect.
match those up.
Exactly.
So I have to do some staining, some painting. This is quite good wood. This is white maple,
Oh, wow.
which should paint or stain quite nicely.
Right.
And
What's really neat is this display that you're going to show next week. That display really shows off what you've done. So you do like an entire room,
yes.
and then you get to see the couch with the fireplace or the bed with the dresser. Like it's
Right.
just really amazing how you're setting it up.
And over the years, I'm going to grow it because it needs little accessories. What is missing in the
Okay.
miniature world, in my little miniature world, is
Right.
all those little tiny accessories that make it fun.
Okay.
Because I did one of those chairs, those Muskoka chairs.
Yes.
And I thought it was awesome. And then one of the more seasoned miniature people,
Right.
they put a fly swatter on it, a hat on it, a book on it. You know,
Oh, they add the
so they
extras,
add
yeah.
the little things, and that's what I need to add in my
Okay, that makes sense.
display.
Yep.
I don't know if I have time between now and June the 4th. And I don't want to rush things. You
No,
don't wanna
no.
rush it,
I
so
can
it's,
understand that.
Anyway, so that's where I'm at. And
Perfect.
we'll see them next time.
All right. So next we're going to talk about our adventure.
It's so nice to be able to talk about adventures again. And then
Again,
we're back
it's
at it and we're getting out
fantastic.
there.
Exactly.
Now, we're not going crazy.
No,
we
that's
still wear
true.
our masks and we're still very very careful when we go out. We spray our hands with hand sanitizer. You and I do
We
all
are.
the
Yep,
things,
we're careful.
but we're very careful. That doesn't mean to say you can't get it. I've known people that are super careful that still get COVID.
Right.
So, anyway, our adventure took us to Collingwood. We went there for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
We were on our way to Mono, and the Linda's Craftique was the yarn store, was our main focus.
Right.
You can talk a little bit about that after we
I will,
talk about
absolutely.
our 2 days in Collingwood, which was awesome. Just loved it. And I don't know if we loved it so much because we haven't been away for so long, or
Right.
if it was just the weather was brilliant.
Yep. It was fantastic.
It was just the hotel was brilliant, everything. But I'll show you on the map where Collingwood actually is. You start off in London, and we just go up through Stratford, and we go through Fergus, and we end up in Orangeville. And then Mono was there. That was the yarn store. We continued up to Collingwood, as you can see. It's right at the tip of Georgian Bay. And there's a really neat trail there that goes from Georgian Bay to Meaford, and that's called the Georgian Trail. And it actually ends up being part of the Bruce Trail.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. The Meaford to Collingwood Trail looks fun. I would love to do that with you one day.
Exactly.
The only part of it they say is like part of it's along the highway.
Okay.
You know, we had gone to Craigleith in Collingwood,
Right.
which we saw part of that trail, and we could
Right.
do maybe even half of it that doesn't go onto the highway.
Well, that's a great idea.
But a lot of it is the woods, and it's quite a good trail other than that piece of it.
Okay. That
So,
sounds
yeah.
like a great
And
idea.
it's 34 kilometers long.
Okay.
It takes about, I think, 8 hours to do the whole thing,
Okay.
probably on bike.
Right.
But it would be good. And there's lots of stops along the way.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're getting very good about taking picnics and doing that kind
and
of
biking and that kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be good. Now, Collingwood, the population is about 20. In 2016, it was about 20,000
thing. Okay.
people. So it's not a big place.
No.
And you know, it's where everybody goes here in Ontario. Not everybody, but a lot of skiers.
Exactly.
They have downhill skiing. They have snowshoeing. They have
Snowboarding.
cross-country skiing, snowboarding. We've gone there in the summer where they've done mountain bikes. So they take them up the ski hills,
That's
those
right.
hills.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And when we were there, they actually had snow. You could see the snow on the mountain. They call it Blue Mountain,
Right.
the mountains there.
Right.
It was kind of neat. And in Collingwood, they also have the village, which we went through, and we had the yogurt.
Yes, we
I have a
did.
picture of you having that yogurt.
Oh, good. Evidence. We call that evidence.
And the village is lovely. There's a little video I have, some pictures here. The village is lovely, but the unfortunate thing was they were getting ready for, I think, May 2-4 weekend because
Probably.
the weather was brilliant, but the stores were all closed. So we just kind of wandered
Exactly.
around, which was still really nice.
Exactly. If we'd gone the next day, we would have been okay. They were
Yes.
all doing inventory, which makes total sense that it probably wasn't very busy and they were
Right.
just getting inventory done.
So that was kind of the village in Collingwood, and then there's like the downtown Collingwood,
Right.
which was really nice. There's a lot. We got to go into a lot of little stores in there.
Exactly.
Really a nice walk for the store. Like the weather was brilliant again.
Exactly.
Lovely walk. Now our hotel, which was the Holiday Inn Express, was just. It wasn't in downtown and
No.
it wasn't in the village.
No.
It was just kind of just
Outside.
coming in or
Yeah.
outside Collingwood,
Yep.
like not
Yep.
really, but it
Not
was
too far.
lovely.
Yep.
I have to talk to you about this hotel. Most hotels, even to me, you get a 5-star hotel, I still feel a little, germs and, and maybe with COVID even so much.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big hotel fan. I'd rather stay in my tent or, cabin or something like that.
May says, doesn't it bother you? I said, no, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Anyway, we go to this Holiday Inn Express. The hotel is only a year and a half old, and it is absolutely spotless. I couldn't believe it. I knew as soon as I walked in
Yeah, it
that
was
it was
beautiful. Nice
spotless.
and bright.
It was bright, lots of windows, furniture was clean, the floor was clean. I was so excited.
You were.
They even had the channel changer in a baggie,
Yep.
and I knew we were in a good spot.
That's right.
But the thing is, with it only being a year and a half, this hotel had the state-of-the-art everything. It had thought through, obviously they had talked to people that do hoteling and thought what they
Right.
needed, because they had hooks rather than hangers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hooks to hang your coat up. Instead of drapes, they had blinds, which drapes I think can carry a lot of dust
Exactly,
and
that's right.
stuff. The carpet was clean, the room was spotless. The bonus was it was COVID-19, and you had to book your pool time or your hot tub time.
Yes,
Now,
you did.
I have to tell you about the hot tub story. Now, Colleen and I have been talking about hot tubs back and forth. Do we get a hot tub? Do we not get a hot tub? There are pros and cons of having a hot tub.
That's true.
You have to take care of it. You have to, chemicals. What if we go away?
Right.
But playing pickleball, it's like, oh, I just want to go in the hot tub. My body's killing me. So then we thought about a tub with jets. We went that route.
Yep.
And we don't have enough pipes or something, not enough space to have a hot
that's
tub
right.
with
It
jets.
wasn't going to work.
So that wasn't going to work. So then we've kind of put the hot tub thing to rest.
Exactly.
So then when we're going to Collingwood, we did think about going to the Scandinavian spa, which we've
Right.
been to before.
Yes, we have.
As soon as I tell Colleen about it, we reminded you actually. It was a lovely experience we had, but you couldn't talk.
No. It has a silence atmosphere. And May, not good at silence atmosphere.
This wasn't good. I thought, do I really want to go somewhere where I can't talk? No. So we decided against the Scandinavian spa.
Correct.
Turns out the Holiday Inn has a hot tub and
Yes,
the pool.
it does.
So where I was going with this, you had to book your time
Right.
with the pool and the hot tub. So a block of time. So you got the pool and the hot tub to yourself.
Yes, you do.
And if nobody was booked before or after you, you could have it even longer. Awesome. Can't beat it. Spotless, clean, hot tub. I was in heaven.
Exactly.
I was in heaven. That's all I need. And it was a free breakfast, which was brilliant.
Exactly.
All the breakfast stuff was in individual containers. Now, I don't know
Exactly.
if that was because of COVID
Right.
or because that's the way of the future of how they're going.
Right.
But the breakfast was brilliant. So I highly recommend that hotel if you're going to that area.
Right.
You will have to drive to the village and you will have to drive to downtown. Parking was not a problem.
No, it was
We
fine.
actually parked in the grocery store and walked downtown.
Yeah, we did.
And it was.
We
it was
also went into
awesome.
the grocery store, so it wasn't that we weren't doing the
Right.
right thing.
Right, we did. And now I can't remember parking down at the village wasn't a problem with that.
No, not at all.
Oh no, the parking down at the village was pretty good too.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was all really good. What else would happen there that was awesome that happened that trip? Oh, we had lots of time. So what I do is I look in my Google Maps and I look at conservation areas like outdoor space, which
Exactly.
I love, and the weather was so
Good.
conducive to
it
that.
was beautiful.
I looked up this Eugenia Falls and I said to Colleen, this looks like an okay place. Why don't we go explore that? We've got the camera. We'll check it out. And it's only probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes from
where we work
from Collingwood.
Yep.
So Colleen's like, she's always game for anything. She says, let's go. So we went, drove there, didn't know what to expect, and it was awesome. We actually walked part of the little trail, the forest trail. We weren't really equipped. Like, we didn't have our hiking shoes or that, but we could go back.
Exactly.
And the falls were amazing, as you can see from the video. I'm going to put a video up because you can actually hear the water rush down there. Now, back in the day, Colleen, that used to be a mining, not a mining, but a power plant.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
it was a power plant, but they went bankrupt.
Oh,
and so part of the structure,
right,
they were going to go across, is still there.
Oh, okay.
But then anyway, also back in the day, I think in the 1900s or 1800s even, I think back as 1800.
Okay.
There was these two guys, and they saw gold in the rocks in there.
Okay.
And so they want to keep it a big secret. And their neighbors were, what are they doing down there? And they're all curious. Then they found out that they were mining this gold.
Right.
And so the neighbors told everybody, so it was no big secret. So they had 200 people come
oh my goodness.
back then, and they started mining this, but it was worthless.
Oh. Okay.
So they called it the Fool's Rush.
Oh, okay, that
then.
Makes sense.
But beautiful spot, wasn't it?
It was
and it was a
beautiful.
great day. And Colleen had on her mitts. Like, it was cold enough, I guess, for you to have mitts.
Yeah.
I didn't need mitts.
No, my hands get cold all the time, so yeah.
Right. So you had your nice knitted mitts with you, which was great.
Matched my coat. It was great.
So it was a good place to go, Eugenia Falls. Never would have guessed that was there.
No,
that
I
was
really
quite
like
the
that
adventure.
you take the time to do that. It makes it so we get to do some yarn stores and we get to do some nature, and I think
we get
that's
to mix
good.
it up. And anyway, it was a well worth trip, and you can talk all about the yarn store because our trip to Collingwood was totally worth it. Is there anything you want to add about our trip? The food was great.
It was great.
We dined, we ate, great trails. Would definitely go back there.
Absolutely.
Great hotel.
Yeah,
so
absolutely
definitely go back there. And now you can talk about the Linda's Craftique, which was a great little store.
So
Little store, I'm saying.
Little store.
Before you say that, I'm talking too much. I know I am.
No, you're not.
But
Not
it
at all.
was 2,000 square feet. When I
I
say
know.
little store, I wasn't talking about that.
So Linda's Craftique is 12 kilometers from Orangeville and 12 kilometers from Shelburne. Now, we've been to a yarn store in Shelburne. I'm not sure if we've been to a yarn store in Orangeville, but we wanted to find this Linda's Craftique. As soon as I heard 2,000 square feet, I thought, this is a place I need to go to. Linda is the owner, and she's been there for a year and a half. So she's been in the business for 38 years, but in this spot, just a year and a half. So it's not like we've been missing out and not knowing it. It was there. So what she decided to do was she bought this property, which had the store front and then a house on the property as well. So she lives in the house, works out of there. And it used to be a cabinet company.
It was a cabinet company, and they had all the different types of wood that you could build cabinets with on the wall. And Linda had said, just keep those on there, because she was going to add knitting abbreviations on there, which she's starting to do.
Exactly. So it looks like little square Scrabble tiles, but all that's on there is...
Or a periodic table.
Or a periodic table, absolutely. I had a great time looking around. I know you got to meet the dog.
Yes, Summer.
Lovely dog. Lovely dog. And while you were doing that, I was looking at yarn and doing all those things that I normally do.
The one thing about this place was, like, we were coming up the highway from where we came from south up towards north.
Right.
And so we came, and there's nothing out, like farm fields, as you can see.
Right.
Nothing on there. And then voila, there's this little knitting store,
Yeah.
There was this knitting store, and I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
And when I walked in, I was like, wow, this is like, it seemed like it was out of nowhere, but like you say, it's 12 kilometers and 12 kilometers.
Exactly.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all.
It's amazing. So I had a lovely chat with Linda, and she talked about all different kinds of things. She's got great samples there. I walked in the door, saw the sample, and thought, I need to make that. It was beautiful. beautiful, and I'll talk a little bit about that in souvenirs. I asked her about her favorite notions. That's my question that I ask right now. And she talked about, first of all, that she loves Coco Knits notions. So she mentioned that, and then she mentioned that she always has a crochet hook in her knitting bag just to ladder things up if she needs to. So I thought, okay, that makes sense to me. She also talked about, depending on where you buy it, it's a barber cord, so it's kind of a hollow rubber cord, and she even demonstrated it for me, so that what you do is you slide the stitches on, and you stick the needle into the end of the cord and you slide that. Now I already had one, so I didn't need to buy one of those, but it's so that you can try on a sweater, see if it's fitting, know what's going on. So that was interesting as well. Let me see what else. I was impressed with Linda. I was impressed with her store.
She had a variety of things. I know she had like all kinds of needles, all kinds of different yarns.
Exactly.
She had a baby section. She had, you know, when you felt, she had felting kits.
Right.
So a real variety of stuff.
Exactly. And you didn't want to buy a felting kit? Your fingers.
I like my fingers. But she had a lot of really, it was a bright store, spacious. That was the first thing that hit me. So spacious, a lot of inventory. Now she does a lot of online sales too.
Exactly.
She has that knitting nook. I think they're starting back up from what I saw on her website. She has a great website.
Yes,
and I think they're starting back up to have people in to knit. And so I think that would be fun for most knitting stores, I would imagine. But
yeah, sometimes you see a knitting store and you think, oh, I wish I lived closer to this, because it's that cozy and lovely, and she set it up beautifully.
She did.
Yeah,
and
she's
I don't know, was it easy to find different kinds of yarns in there? Because
Absolutely.
It looked like it was organized.
Yes, she has it all organized with weights, and every place that you go. So if you go to baby yarn, there's baby samples. If you go to fingering weight yarn, there can be sock samples or shawl samples. So it's a beautiful store. I would highly recommend that you go visit that one. It's great.
And lots around there to do.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
All right. So that's our adventure. And next we're going to talk about souvenirs. My souvenirs come from Linda's Craftique, and I'm just going to talk about this sample that was there. It was a cream color. There was a background color. It was just amazing. Now, she showed me on Ravelry what the pattern was, and she said, I'm going to show this to you because I don't think you would choose to knit it if you saw it. So here is the pattern. It's called Polarity by Elena Nodel, and there it is. So it's kind of green and black.
Is it because the colors she saw?
Exactly. It looks harsh, maybe. It looks a little harsh, I think. And so it's not something that I would knit. I would have looked at it and thought, well, that's interesting. Now, if you go to the last page, this is a little bit more like something I would knit. Okay, so it's a muted color. There you go. And hers was similar, but what she'd used Uneek fingering. So this is extra fine superwash merino.
Can I interrupt for just a second? That almost looks like the color of that one that you're just knitting now with the...
Oh, right,
you know what I mean?
right.
That one, what do you call the last one you were talking about? In
Pure
there?
Joy.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Exactly.
You're right, now that I think about it. So what I chose, so first of all, I needed a skein of Uneek fingering, extra fine superwash merino. So I chose this one. I don't know if
that's cool. Kind of reminds me of the Irish yarn.
Exactly. So that's that.
Nice.
Okay, so that's going to be the contrast color, and then the main color is this Drops Baby Merino. I have knit with this, and it is brilliant. So what's going to happen is this will be there, and then this color will shine through.
That's
and
nice.
I fell in love with this, and it's not purple.
Yeah.
And yet I still fell in love with it.
It's got a tinge of blue in there and some browns and blues. Nice combination.
I know. I'm really, really happy with that. So I've got that. I'm going to do that
Great
pattern.
to see what that looks like.
Exactly. I think it has to, I haven't really read through the pattern, but I know it has slip stitches and it shows how to do that. So that's fantastic. And then Linda had talked about having, she talked about cocoa knits and having a crochet hook. And I thought, well, we'll do 2 for 2. So this is Cocoa Knit Stitch Fixer. And so I'm going to put that in my knitting bag, and that's going to be there when I'm working on that.
Very good.
So those are my souvenirs. Now, I'm busy working around, looking at yarn, doing it. I come up and May is stuck by the cash register. I'm thinking, this is odd. She's not usually stuck by the cash register. And then I look at her and she keeps going. I'm thinking, what is she doing? And then I find out
I bought soap. I love the smell of this. I was smelling all the soaps. There were so
Right.
many of them. It's called bridal wood soaps. They like to support each other in the community. And she's
Exactly.
supporting somebody in the community. So it was really cool. And there I go again. I love it, but it smells like outdoorsy kind of
It's
stuff.
called Into the Woods, this one, and it is nice. I said, May, I just need a little shave off of it, put it in a little baggie and stick it in my knitting bag.
It's a great idea because your knitting will smell amazing.
Exactly.
It'll smell like we could actually go and have a campfire and your knitting can smell like outdoors.
It could, and yet that's a little difficult
It's
to
a
get
little bit
that
of a
smell out
stretch.
sometimes. Just a little bit. But I really like the scent
Yes.
of this. So you selected a good one. Because
Yes.
flowery sometimes can be a little bit too much, but that one's a good
That's
one.
my little souvenir.
Very
It
good.
was a great trip to It was a great trip to the yarn store. It was a great trip to Collingwood.
Yeah, we
The
had a great
adventure
time.
was worthwhile, and
Exactly.
I highly recommend it.
Glad to be out there
Yes.
again. So thanks so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up, comment down below. If you've got a yarn store we haven't been to, let us know that. If
Subscribe.
you've got it, subscribe. If you've got a craft you want to see, comment down below. We're having a great time getting out there and starting to do that adventuring again. So until next time,
You take care.